Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Terrence Duncan, and we are going to do something different with my podcast, the Mahogany Thoughts podcast, available on Spotify as well as other hosting sites. We're going to incorporate this with the Metro East Black Wealth Builders. And so the purpose of the particular group, which was created by Devin Moody, Graham, and myself, as well as some others, is to make sure that we're able to provide a business community for Black and brown businesses in the Metro East. We know that there's some challenges for African-American businesses, not only on the St. Louis side, but on the Metro East side, but we are well represented, but we're not connected. So this is one of the first, excuse me, what you want to say is a business webinar, as you will, to discuss issues that are relevant for Black businesses, for opportunities for people to share their services, to share their insight, and to kind of help improve their business capacity. And so today I have his brother Sean Haire with us from the St. Louis Better Business Bureau. And we're going to talk about what the Better Business Bureau is about. I signed up for it. He'll go into basically the benefits of it for the different variations of it and how it can help boost your brand for your business. I was just telling him, and we'll talk about this interaction later, that, you know, after signing up less than a week and a half, I think it was a week and a half, wasn't it, Sean?
Yeah.
So I actually got a hit this morning for a potential quote. And so we'll go over that. We'll share that screen. It's going to be shared on LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as YouTube. So we're recording this live right now on the 12th of July. But the great thing about the Google, also I call it as the atmosphere, is that we can pull it out at any time, share it as necessary, and we can always go back to it for learning materials. And so this is going to be the first of, hopefully several series where we can be able to have different experts come in and bring in their resources and insight to really help activate Black businesses. And I say bring in to connect to the resources because the reality is that there is access. I know that one of the largest arguments for Black businesses is that there is no access to resources. There are access to resources. The challenge is about the word connectivity. And so we are trying to provide an emphasis of connectivity, as stated with Brother Matt Simpson, from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity office. When he came down to East St. Louis in June, we wanted to make sure that the Metro East area starts not only to become more connected in the region as well as doing business in St. Louis, but also to be able to improve our capacity to do businesses with the state. But the key is connectivity. And so we'll bring in those resources up and down the state of Chicago, or Illinois, not the state of Chicago is damn it like a state, but we'll bring in resources up and down the state to be able to, give you guys the resources you need to improve your business. So, Sean, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. Dr. Duncan, I want to thank you for inviting me to speak today. When you and I talked a little while ago, and you told me about this networking forum that you have, man, I think it's excellent and it's needed for the Metro East side.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother. And actually I met him through the Heartland Chamber of Commerce. And for those who don't know, and I'll shout out to anybody, because it's not about, one thing I want to say this about business relationships. Not all relationships have to be transactional. Relationships can be transformational, meaning that, I may give him some business. I might help get some business referred to him. Hopefully over time, business will be referred to me, or he could put me in a position to pick up additional business. Not all business relationships, people that you meet, have to be transactional. It doesn't have to be a one-to-one relationship. And hopefully we'll bring in some people to talk about business development where you have to, your business model involves the fact that you're not going to convert a sale immediately when you meet somebody. And we have to get into that mindset as we network, that our networking and our business development relationship has to be continuous. So shout out to the Heartland Chamber of Commerce. I signed up through them not too long ago, and I participated in one of their monthly Zooms. And so I found this brother. He had provided a presentation. I reached out to him, I think 72 hours. I signed up with the BBB, and we've moved forward on that endeavor. So he lives on the Metro East side in Belleville, I believe. And just tell us about your business, man, and just what you do, how long you've been in business, and your passion for businesses and Black businesses.
Okay, and again, I appreciate this platform to speak about it. I'll give a little brief history of me, and then I'll go into the business standpoint. So again, I am Sean Haire. And actually, my full name is Kenyatta Sean Haire. So if people may know me from the Metro side, they know me as Kenyatta. And I only go by Sean because when I got out of college, it was easier to open doors as Sean than as Kenyatta, and just how it is, in the minority community. But I was born and raised in East St. Louis. Yeah, I was born and raised in East St. Louis, so I'm a resident. As Dr. Terrence has said, now I live in Belleville. Previously, I worked in human resources, and then up north in Chicago. Then I moved back home to take care of an ailing relative who had Alzheimer's, and I ended up being the regional manager for the Vatterats. I don't know if anyone have heard of those, but I was a regional campus president for that. From that, I actually started my own business. So in Belleville, I have a cosmetology school called Milan School of Cosmetology / salon. And it's been open about it's been open 7 years, but the school part has been open 4, and I just had my second graduating class. I'm looking to start a third class pretty soon. While I've been at the BBB, I've been at the BBB or the Better Business Bureau for about 4 years, and I've sort of done both. Now, most people know of the BBB if they, let's say, go to a restaurant and they got poor service or they didn't get a refund like they should. People say, well, I'm going to call the BBB. So that's one side of our business. We handle complaints. And we're pro-consumer, but we're also pro-business on mediation, because our goal and mission is marketplace trust, and that's on both sides. And we do have an 80% resolution rate. So if you were to call and have a concern, we do whatever we can to mediate it. But the other side of the Better Business Bureau, and mind you, we've been in business 112 years. And our St. Louis office has been in business 109 years. So it's its own brand, been around a long time. The business side of things, a lot of people, we get 11 million consumers per month going to bbb.org or reaching out to us over the phone. A lot of the older adults prefer to use the phone to look at the viability or reliability of a business. And we use the ratings from A+ to F, just like when we were in school. And so my role kind of spawned from that, because we noticed that most of the businesses profiles that we had were white, male dominated or owned businesses. So if someone were to call in and wanted, life coaching, for example, or needed a landscaper, most of those businesses were that we referred were white, male owned. So my role as business engagement specialist is to spotlight minority and women-owned businesses for that. And the way we do that, you can get a profile on bbb.org for free. Okay, now part of that profile, let's say if you don't even have a website, it's almost like a supplemental website. If you have one, it's also beneficial, which I'll talk briefly in a second about that. But on that profile, we look at various things, how long you've been in business, you haven't had any complaints, and no government actions against you. And we have a computer algorithm where we put that information in, and it will spit you out what your grade is. Now, Dr. Terrence, I believe you're an A+, I believe, or an A, yep. And so it's not something subjective that we do. It's as objective as we can, or as computers can generate for us with a certain criteria. Now, part of that profile, what that does is it'll help you, one, with SEO or search engine optimization through Google. So when they pull you up and you have a profile with the Better Business Bureau, near the top, your business should show up. So that's one way of getting that exposure that you may need. The other thing is we have verified reviews. Google, I'm sure a lot of people on this phone may have heard on this Zoom, may have heard of Google reviews, where you can go in and put a review in on a business. Well, anyone can go in and put a review, even if they were never a customer of yours. And I hate to say it, but if you had, let's say, if you had a hater out there, someone that may just didn't like you, they can go to Google reviews and give you a bad review, and it will impact your actual Google review rating. And it's very hard to get that taken off your Google page. First of all, it's hard getting in contact with them, but then the fact of actually getting off. With our profile with the reviews, they're verified. So if someone put a review, let's say a bad review on you, give you a 1, it goes to you. You have the ability before it gets posted to say this person is a customer or this person is not a customer. And if that person isn't a customer, then we send a communication back to that person and say, prove that you did business, let's say with JI Enterprises. And if they can't prove it, it doesn't go on your profile, so it doesn't give you a hit for negative, people wanting to just curse your name or your business. The other thing is beneficial. So Google, part of their, and I'm gonna put in quotes, Google My Business, in order to be on their platform, they are requiring you to authenticate your business, because there are a lot of bad actors out there, a lot of scammers, a lot of spammers, and their websites can look great, but they're still looking to scam you out of money. So one of the ways to verify that you are a legitimate business is actually having a profile with the Better Business Bureau. That has come down the pike as of recently, and just as of today, I was looking up a business on the Yellow Pages, and they still have the Yellow Pages, but now it's digital. And one of the categories on there is BBB rating, where you actually can show your rating on that. So what my goal is to expose, again, minority and women-owned businesses to this free profile at bbb.org that you can have. And again, if you don't have a website, this can serve as a website for you. It can be, again, very beneficial to you. Now, what Dr. Terrence was speaking about, he actually signed up for to be a member of the Better Business Bureau. Now, I want to let you know, we are a not-for-profit organization. We're actually a 501 a C6. But we have businesses that we align with. And when consumers or possibly future customers come to review your profile, there's an area where you can say that you're an accredited business. An accredited business, we take every, first of all, you have to have at least a B or better to be accredited. And also you have to have at least been in business 6 months. So even though your business may have been licensed with the state in 6 months, if there's a particular license that you had prior to that, or even, possibly a Facebook that you set up even prior to that, that could also be used in order for your accreditation. And so the benefits of accreditation, first and foremost, I would say, is that marketplace trust. Because you've gone through a background check through the BBB, once you sign up for membership, we're telling these consumers, these 11 million that come to us each month, that you're a reputable, trustworthy business. And short of word of mouth, how can you convey that you're a trustworthy business? Well, that's where the BBB brand can help you, because most people see the BBB brand 90% as a positive brand. Or a positive label for a brand once they're affiliated. Also, part of the accreditation, you can use our BBB torch seal. If you can pull up a little bit later, Dr. Terrence, kind of show what it is. You can use our BBB torch seal on any and all your marketing. And if you decide to want to apply, I would tell you to use it in any and all your marketing, from business cards to invoices to proposals. Your website, put it up there, because then people feel as if, okay, I see this nice website, but they have a BBB rating of an A+. Maybe I can trust it. And part of that website, you can actually get an interactive seal where you can click on it from your website and it takes you directly to your profile with the Better Business Bureau. So they can see your reviews, your A+, that you're accredited, to show that you are an official, trustworthy, and credible business. And if you don't mind, I'd like to just tell you the testimony that I told you, Dr. Terrence. So when people come into my cosmetology school, it's very evident that I'm ethnically diverse. From the mannequin heads are people of color. The texture of the hair is very similar to people of color. So I actually had an older gentleman come in with his granddaughter from Sparta, Illinois. And when he came in, I could kind of tell the little hesitance in his face, because I don't think that he knew that I was a minority business owner and that this was maybe a diverse school. And he had his granddaughter, and he came in. So as I was touring him, you know, I could kind of tell the hesitation. And so I stopped halfway through and said, I also want to let you know that I'm a member of the Better Business Bureau, and I have an A+ rating. I've gone through a background check with them. And he said, oh, you with the Better Business Bureau, huh? And I said, yes, sir. And I guarantee you he went and checked. But the success story of that is his granddaughter is one of the graduates from last year. So that's when I knew that had I not possibly been a member, he would not have let his granddaughter go there, and I wouldn't have received that tuition funding also for it. So that credibility in minority spaces is very important, because even though, you know, money is green and it shouldn't matter who's selling you this service or product, to some people it does matter. On one end, you know, I always like supporting Black businesses, but, you know, it doesn't mean I'm not going to support Hispanic, and it doesn't mean I'm not going to support maybe white-owned businesses. But you do have some people that they do not trust minority businesses. And like I mentioned before, the key is, other than word of mouth, how do they know that they can trust you? Being aligned with the Better Business Bureau just gives you another layer to say, hey, I am a trustworthy and reputable business. I do great business, or I have a great service to offer you. I should be worthy of your business. And so, again, my role, I've been working with a lot of the organizations, the Hispanic Chamber, the Heartland Black Chamber, where, again, I met Dr. Duncan, and to spread the word. At least have a profile with the Better Business Bureau. It costs you nothing to have that profile. But what it gives you is the opportunity to show that you earned whatever rating you have with us, as well as possibly get you that exposure to those consumers whom I spoke about earlier.
Absolutely. And, you know, brand recognition, yeah, actually, you know what, Marilyn, she wants to jump in. So Marilyn Green, yes, please, absolutely. Please introduce yourself, the name of your business or your podcast or whatever your brand may be. And thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having this opportunity. Well, I'm Marilyn Green, and I am the president and CEO of JFY Consulting. And JFY Consulting, we basically are strategists for strategists. So everything that I do has to do with strategy, from grant writing, grant reviewing, teaching classes. I also have a podcast called Girl Who Don't You Know, which is about transforming your mind. And I also have a book about moving forward called Stuck Is Not Your Story. So I'm all about the strategy of a thing. So I'm very, very happy that you brought this to our mind, because Better Business Bureau is one of those that's been around, like you said, forever, basically. But my question is, when you become A+, I'm an overachiever, so I'm not going any lower. Okay, so once you become that, then do you always be that? Or when people come in and maybe a sneaky hater or something and put something in, does it lower your rating? How does that work?
Miss Marilyn, that is an excellent question.
Thank you.
Yes. So reviews do not count towards your rating. Okay. So reviews don't. Now, complaints and the timeliness of addressing the complaints, or even not addressing them at all, can have an impact on your rating. So if you were to get a complaint and you answered it, and again, you do not have to give up the form. Sometimes, we can't find a reasonable accommodation. Hey, I did all that I can do to, help you with this service. And some people you just can't please. Sometimes unfortunately, it's like that. But only like complaints or government actions will have an impact on your A+ rating. Reviews will not. So even if you have, and some people used to call in and say, well, this company only has a 1-star review, but yet they're an A+. And we have to tell them reviews are just that. They're just reviews. We're looking at actions. Actions as far as, like I said, if you have a great standing, or if you had a complaint and you just ignored that person, well, that'll drop you down to at least a C at that point, and you can't be accredited. Now, one of the benefits of the accreditation, and I don't know if this is something I didn't tell Dr. Duncan, but you have mediation. So if you know someone is unhappy with you, whether it's your fault or not, you can reach out to us, or a lot of times they'll tell you, well, I'm going to the Better Business Bureau on you. Sometimes they'll do that. Sometimes they will do it, or sometimes they won't, but you will come to us and say, hey, this particular person may reach out. So what we'll do is we'll mediate it before it comes a complaint. So that complaint doesn't show on your profile, or will lower. Now, if you have a pattern of complaints, and even though you've answered them, but it seems as if complaint, then that could possibly lower it. But before that, we ask, why is it? You could just had a manager that was just mismanaging, and you didn't know that they were mismanaging. So if you can explain that, then that won't have an impact. But that's an excellent question.
It's almost kind of like, I'm sorry. Yeah,
no,
sorry. That was my bad. But yeah, and I think that's a great question, Marilyn, because it made me, when she asked that question, it kind of made me think about Google, right? Because like if you go to Google Maps, people can, I can't think of the name of the term, where they just crash your site to lower your star rating on Google. So if somebody looks up your business on Google Maps, then they say, okay, well, this person had a 2.5 rating, but then all those complaints came in. I don't even know if there's even a forum to mediate. So I think that's an excellent question. But I think that, you say that, well, I'm going to contact the Better Business Bureau on a business. I think that that's something that we also should get into practice of, just looking for ourselves, is to, not only get ourselves enrolled, but to also make sure that when we're working with different contractors, subcontractors, and I'm not talking about housing or rehabbing, is this management company, is this consultant company, is this grant writing company, are they certified? I think that makes a big difference. The other thing too, that for those who are listening in the audience, whether it's today or in the future, when you're looking at your reach, a lot of times, many of us small businesses have such a limited reach. We can reach out to our social media marketing managers, and they have so much of a limitation. We can reach out to, we can use AI. There's so much of a limitation. And so usually it's like the combination of different resources that fits best for your business to help increase your brand, but also to make sure that you're reaching out to people that you don't even know, that you're not able to meet. And I think that harnessing that power is very beneficial. So we're going to actually show my screen for the sake of time, and just for any other questions, we're going to show my screen, the Better Business screen, and just show like what that profile looks like and how that works. So you can visually kind of see, like for my business, it's even though that I signed checks to Dr. Terrence Duncan, my consulting company name is JI Enterprises. But as I bid for certain contracts or I send proposals, it's always under JI Enterprises. So we're going to share that real quick. And Sean, if you don't mind just, discussing the benefits of the screen. And if you want to mind just discussing the benefits of the screen and tell me where to go, that'll be great.
Okay. So just from this, if you keep here for just 1 second before you click on yours. So this is our home page. And here where it says find, he put in his business straight as is. But if you're looking for a plumber, if you're looking for a landscaper, if you're looking for a roofer, you can just put roofing in, put it in Swansea, Illinois, or even your zip code. And from that, it would actually pull up businesses. And the first thing they're going to see is accredited businesses. And if you don't want accredited, there it is. So you could choose non-accredited businesses, or if you click it, you can see the accredited business. So when people see these, when they see the accredited business logo over to the right, that tells most informed consumers, one, they've been vetted, they've gone through a background check. Two, they signed a pledge that they will answer all complaints in a timely fashion. Okay, so if you can go, and this just shows you all the ones that are accredited. Now, if you can go to yours, Dr. Terrence. Excellent. Excellent. So this is how most, all profiles will show. And again, the only difference between Dr. Duncan's and yours, if you're not accredited, you won't have that torch seal right there, but you will have your A+, and it will say not an accredited business. It actually will say that. But you can get a lot of information on here. And again, one of the first things that pops out is he's an A+. And again, there's not a pay for play. He earned that A+ for the length of time he's been in business. No government actions and no unresolved complaints. It shows the reviews. It will show the complaints. It also can, you can go to the website, so it can link to your website. So if a person starts with the BBB, then and hit that website, it can go straight to your website, which it shows here, which is a very nice website, Doctor. And eventually, I want him to have that torch seal at the bottom so he can go back and forth, can see his profile with us. You also, if you notice, you can get your phone number, the address. We can suppress your address. So if you're working out of your home, we can suppress it so they don't have to see it. Business hours, we can get that information on there as well. Oh, perfect. He has this already updated. We're on it, man. Below that, you will see the get a quote. And if you go ahead and click that. So that's what Dr. Duncan was talking about earlier that he received today. Someone actually saw that he's an A+ and accredited, and they went to this form directly from the profile and was able to see if they can bid on a service that he provides. And it goes to it. And if, let's say, because Dr. Duncan is a very busy person, and if he was in front of a particular client at that time, it would be sent to your email and your phone through text, and you can actually respond saying that I will be, I am interested in your business. I will be in contact with you within 24 hours. And they can give the description, they can add pictures and various things. If they have like a plumbing problem, they can actually put a picture and, hey, can you fix this? So on and so forth. Okay, so if you pop back, one last thing I want to show, the related categories. You see all the things that Dr. Duncan does. The more services or categories you can put in, the easier you are to find. So if someone were to put in educational consultant, his JI Enterprises will pop up as an accredited business near the top. So it also will help your search engine optimization with Google. The more keywords that they actually can find, that they can put in, the easier you are to find. And then below, there's an overview where you can talk about your business, as well as the products and services that you provide. So that's pretty much it. So I see you've been updating. There you go. Also, yeah, very important. Thank you for servicing area. So if you want to just do the Metro East, you can do just the Metro East. If you want to do St. Louis County, all the different various counties, you can do that to get your reach even further than possibly just in Belleville or just in East St. Louis. It lets them know, okay, I can do business all over. I have one, they're national, you know, so they can do business with someone in California, you know, and you can say that in your overview. Okay.
And so I'll speak on my behalf. So before we got on the call, I was telling Sean that I actually, woke up this morning and saw a message from a client, and I need to go ahead and just respond to the client and, find out exactly what services are really, really needed before I could provide a full quote. But I really like that feature because of the fact that somebody reached out to me instead of trying to find my website. And so for those who does have a website, your SEO optimization is very crucial because there's so many businesses, there's so many profiles. It's not even just active businesses, they're inactive businesses. So you have a lot of dead, or you could say vacant properties, if you want to say, on the internet that are eating up your time. And if they actually have better SEOs, categories in their search engine, then they can actually go over you when they're looking for businesses, and you're actually the one that's in operation. And so that's definitely not a situation that you want to be in. So I thought it was really nice because of the fact that the person who did reach out to me is within the St. Clair County area. It's a particular healthcare provider who's looking for particular services. And so, I'm looking forward to just, starting an interactive process of asking this particular owner, what exactly are you looking for? What are the projected hours? Kind of get the scope of the work so we can get that nailed down. And then I can provide a full formal quote of saying, here's what my services are, here's how much I'm going to charge, and here are the payment terms. Do you agree? XYZ, and we can kind of hash that out and finalize it. Whether it works or not, we'll see and stuff, but it definitely shows what the potential is. And it's also at the comfort of your own home. So it's not like I'm not getting paid to endorse BBB, but it's one of those things, as I've been in business for some time, it's like, what can I do to take myself up to the next level? And I realized that using services such as this will be very beneficial. And I can also say, from a real estate investor, that's something I should have had considered in one of my properties where I'm having legal concerns dealing with right now, whereas it would be more beneficial if I could have vetted my contractors that way. And so at the very least, even if you don't sign up for the services through Sean in the St. Louis Better Business Bureau, it is better, it's very beneficial for you to see what contractors, whether it's in your particular home or for your business, or if you're looking to subcontract, find a property, an event space, whatever the case may be, and you can see that accreditation not only just speaks to legitimacy of the business, but likely the professionalism that you're going to encounter. Now, not everybody's going to be on top of the game as maybe that you could be, but it's definitely a good way to make yourself more legitimized and also reach out to a market that you probably didn't even think about as you're currently operating your small business, whether it's a solo practice firm or if you're a 2 or 3 man shop or whatever that case may be and stuff. So, you can contact Sean to discuss those services further. And also just kind of like the registration process for myself. It took me probably maybe like 15 minutes, if that. It was about 15, 20 minutes and stuff. So I had most of the information available. I was very aware of what my services can be leading up to the call. I actually did some looking around on the BBB before I had contacted him. And always, I tell people all the time, verify your individuals. That's really important now, especially because of scamming and things like that, and people get their money taken like that. So, you definitely want to verify, is this person legitimate, before you move forward with them and stuff. So, like I said, Sean, thank you for being on board. And are there any other questions? I haven't been on Facebook. And I found out what the problem is, Sean. You can't I use Google Chrome. You can't use Google Chrome. Yeah. No, I use Firefox normally.
Firefox. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm at the port over. Yeah. And I'm at the port out of that.
And one of the things while you're doing that, I want to piggyback something very interesting that you said. Utilize the BBB. it really took me to work for him to realize, because not only are you're a business owner, but you're also a consumer. You also are a customer, because you are, you know, for yourself personal or possibly for your business. And this is a great way of vetting businesses, especially those that may be coming into your home. Okay, because if you're an accredited business, we hold all accredited businesses to you know, strict guidelines. If you got a complaint, we're going to answer it immediately, because it could put your accreditation in jeopardy. But as far as any business or any lifestyle information, you're going to do business with someone, I would encourage everyone on here to at least look up the business with the BBB first.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Sean, what is the brother, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Okay, there are a couple of ways. One, I will give you my email address. So if you want to write down, you definitely can, and that is S as in Sam, H as in Henry, A as in Apple, I as in Igloo, R as in Radio, and E as in Edward, at St. Louis, so STLOUIS BBB.org. So that's SHAIRE at STLOUIS BBB.org. My direct line, you can call me at 314-584-6741. Again, that's 314-584-6741.
Thank you, much appreciated. Also, I'll have that in the comments as well, excuse me, on the description, so that people who do look at this later on down the line, they're able to, even if they're listening, they can actually, you know, see that information briefly on the description and the overview field. And so, is there any other questions from the audience?
Oh, I just want to jump in real quick and say thank you so much, Mr. Haire, and thank you, Dr. Duncan. I really enjoyed this because I'm really working on my visibility. So this just played this just played right into it. I'm like, oh my, I had no idea what was going to go on. I just was like, I think I got the time. If not, I'm going to make it. So I'm glad I did. I appreciate it. I do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for joining and stuff. And I'm with you and stuff, because, you know, we've been doing this for quite some time. We talked about it before offline before, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, it's nice to be known in our circles and stuff, but what's the next step, right? You know, like, how do we get into these larger boardrooms? How do we get in these larger organizations? Or how do we find these customers who don't, you know, these people may be proficient in using the BBB, right? And they may be looking to say, hey, I'm only going to deal with people who are A+ certified businesses. And then you're showing up on the list and stuff. And, you know, you may not even, this, like I said, this individual's in Troy, Illinois. I don't plan to go to Troy, Illinois anytime soon. So, you know, how would I be able to meet him to make that particular connection? And I think that's really great. And then as I'm able to try to build the profile and expand it, then maybe, you know, putting it on a natural level and having the flexibility to do that would be the ideal step, plus growing with employees, right? Because that's something that's very important for Black businesses, because we have the lowest full-time employee ratio of any ethnic group as it relates to small businesses. So I know I'm a part of that statistic as well. And so I know that, you know, not only just through collaborations and partnerships, you know, it's like real strategic growth, physical storefronts, things like that, that's a long-term goal. And also it's just a strategic goal of the Metro East Black Wealth Builders. I mean, I know that's the name will be shortened at some point, but, you know, we have to start not only just advocating for different services and different insights, but bringing in brothers like Mr. Haire to have those type of conversations, and just kind of promoting what we do is very valuable too. So, and just know, again, it goes down to connecting to the resources, not about these resources exist, but to connect to these resources. So thank you again, man. Definitely appreciate it. So I didn't see any. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And you know what? I didn't see any comments on the stream. So before we go, I know that we have Giovanna May with the Illinois SBDC office. She will be on August I can't remember off the top of my head. I actually got the flyer, but it is August the It's funny, I actually had it in my head, but I'm having a brain fart. August the 15th, Giovanna May will be on with Illinois SBDC, and she actually helps run one of the community navigators, and she's a hell of a resource, for connecting people in the right spots. And so she has experience working with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. She has experience building Black businesses, featuring Black businesses on the SIUE's website, which is awesome. And I've known her for several years, and I've been able to do some work with SIU myself. I still actually have active contracts with Southern Illinois in their different capacities, through my relationship with Giovanna, because, these type of conversations right here. So for that, I'm always grateful. So that's going to be on August the 15th, same time, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We'll be Zooming that. Thank you everybody for listening and are able to view this, whether it's today or in the future. It's definitely appreciated. Please reach out to this brother. So like I said, it's a non-for-profit, so, this is his business. This is part of his business within the organization to help grow. This is strategically aligned. So, like I said, I'm not getting any commissions or any considerations for that. It's just like we talked and decided to bring on board, and we'll continue to do that and continue to grow Black businesses within the community. So thank you again, Sean. Thank you, everybody. And I hope that y'all have a blessed evening and a good rest of the week.
Thank you so much. Everyone have a great one.